Last time, after spending several days outside of Buena Vista, 5 guys broke camp and 4 of us headed north and west and then south towards Grand Mesa for a few days on top of a mountain over there. As we started rolling north and west past Twin Lakes, the weather started changing dramatically. It had gone from cold, wet, and windy to bright and sunny and lots of puffy, slow-moving clouds that did not appear to be producing much rain at all. And I think everybody was excited up until we got on top, almost on top of Independence Pass, sort of getting cold up here. But we were really excited to be up in new, fresh weather and riding a beautiful road over into Aspen. And this is just probably a mile or 2 from the top of Independence Pass. And of course, we were all excited to find something new as we journeyed towards Grand Mesa. And it wasn't until I started going downhill from Independence Pass that I noticed a group of cars following very slowly. And I just assumed, since I could not see to the next corner, that it was probably a big RV that either was not aware that he needed to pull off some of the turnouts, and there's plenty of turnouts on this road, but it wasn't until I got up to the first batch of cars. It seemed like there was 8 or 9 cars in a line waiting on the crowd in front of them to get out of the way, and unfortunately that did not happen, and I wasn't going to let this group of bikers spoil my ride down into Aspen, because this is a fun road. But once I passed the first group of cars, I noticed the trouble. It's the typical parade trouble. You don't really realize it until you get up next to them that, you know, they roar up and down the highway 50, 60, 70 miles an hour on the straights, but as soon as they get to the corners, they choke, and that's what was happening here. Going a little bit faster here, and of course everybody jams on the brakes. In a 25-mile-an-hour turn, they're doing 15 or 10, and it takes them a while to get up to speed again. But yeah, this is just one of the typical parades that you see. And the other issue that you'll see up here is the large RVs, and they don't really realize, or they don't feel like they could turn off onto the turnouts. Maybe they don't understand that they're spoiling everybody else's time. But once I got past this group, I had the whole road to myself in front anyway, all the way down into Aspen. And that's when it started really getting interesting. It's not like I'm doing triple digits or anything, just having fun. I'm not slowing down in every turn. But yeah, this is a unique section of road. I've only seen this in this one place, and I think they've got 2 of these stoplights, just because I guess the state or the county has decided that they didn't want to blow up the rock to make this road wider. I'm guessing 30, 40, 50 years ago when they first built this road, it was wide enough for smaller cars, but certainly not the RVs and the trailers and the things they got now. So, and maybe that the shelf road that was out here collapsed. Maybe that's the bigger problem, is they just decided to leave it like it is, make it a one-way only, and stop both ends of traffic as they're coming through. But this is one of 2 little sections just like this that will take you all the way down into the town of Aspen, which is pretty cool. Of all the interesting and unique campsites that I've visited and found over the years, this particular spot on top of Grand Mesa is one of the most unique, interesting, and spectacular of all the sites that I've camped at. And it's obviously cherished by many. So many times I've been up here to try to get this camp spot and found that it was already occupied. But I hope my campmates remember this fondly despite the weather that we endured. Standing atop the world's largest flat top mountain. Looks pretty good down there, right? But behind us, looking kind of sketch. Got some weather moving in. We got a live stream tonight with 4, count them, 4 motorcycle campers on a small adventure around the Rockies and then maybe west. We'll see. Join us tonight. After several days enduring the cold, wind, and rain atop the big rock known as Grand Mesa, I convinced Carl and Jamie to roll into town to get some supplies. We were running low and we needed some things that could not be found in the village below. So we headed into Grand Junction, which is about a 45-minute drive. And as you can see, it's pretty whited out. You can't even see down in the valley. So we rolled out in crappy weather. This time I think everybody had their proper gear on for the rain and the cold. But we had a little trouble getting out of the sticky mud here in the parking lot, our little camping area. A little bit of slippage before we got out onto the gravel road. And this road into our little area is a mix of gravel and pavement. And the pavement on a good day is just dusty, but lots of good traction. But it had been raining so long here that it had produced some clay residue at the top and made the riding on the dirt, the gravel, a little bit trickier, or at least sphincter tightening. But the gravel turns out that was the good part of the ride. The bad part of the ride is the patches of pavement that are in between the sections of gravel. And these paved sections are ridiculous. They're full of potholes, deep, treacherous potholes. And in fact, one of them dented my rim, almost broke my rim the last time I was up here on the RT. And they're very deep potholes and they're hard to see in general, but when they're full of water, they blend in with all the other slick pavement. So that's a difficult part of leaving out in the rain when you can't see anything already. And then you've got glossy potholes that are full of water that are very treacherous for your motorcycle. But once we got down off the mountain, everything warmed up and dried out, and it was a wonderful ride into Grand Junction down this fantastic canyon that leads to the interstate. One of 3 different pathways, well actually 4 different pathways if you include the 2 dirt roads. But yeah, it was good to get out of most of the rain. There was a little bit of drizzle in Grand Junction, and then when we pulled into the truck stop, it was very warm, and we pulled in to get some showers provided by my buddy Brian. And nothing like a good clean hot shower to get all the dirt and change your attitude.
Well, they don't have fucking showers.
again, thanks to my buddy Brian, giving us a free shower off of his nice card. 3 wet riders roll into Grand Junction and get this hotel-like shower. Pretty freaking cool, I think. Pretty excited to get some of this dead skin and filth off. So. All right, now you got to turn it around. I forgot to tell you we were coming up the dirt road. Oops. It gets better. It gets better because it's going up there, and then it starts going whoop, 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 whoop. See? See where the road goes? It goes whoa, 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 and then it starts getting freaking awesome. We'll stop again. I just wanted to stop and go, hey, check this shit out. It's better coming down. The washboards suck.
Oh, I know. I was waiting to open a beer.
It's good food and Don hates it. So I'm gonna sing a song to you because he doesn't like it.
Watch that first step, it's a doozy. It's just like flying for a few seconds.
See that, Don? A little rain right here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like steam coming off the mountains. Got something in the head. Wow. No, my camera died. We're getting hit the timber. How many hailstorms is this for you, Gary? Third one. 31? Although this is the biggest. This would be kind of similar to the one you had in Mancos.
Yeah. Good news is we get some ice out of the deal.
Yeah.
It's a fucking hell, that shit stings.
Come to Colorado in the summertime.
It'll be fun, they
said it'll be fun.
Come to Colorado, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Grab your chair, Gary, come on over.
What more fun can you have than a hailstorm in Colorado?
Not much of this one.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to catch some ice. We gotta catch ice. One sacrificial chair for the ice bucket.
Catch it better than this.
Yeah. Exciting adventure time.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Psych! Got right here. Wow. All right. Who was it that said it's over? Somebody just said that a couple of seconds ago.
It's over. Eventually it's over. Should be live streaming right now. You should be. Live streaming for my hill.
The cold wind and rain was starting to get to Gary. He even mentioned it before we got there. But after he pitched camp the first night, he was talking about rolling out the next morning for warmer climates. But the next day turned out a little bit better, so he managed to stay on.
Nice and dry and warm. Or at least dry.
Dry, yeah.
Get as wet as possible.
Eventually, the wind and the cold and the rain got to all of us, and we decided to roll down the hill, at least what was left of us. Jamie had already gone back home. He had to go back to work. But yeah, I hated to leave this place, but the weather was just not cooperating with any of us. So the next morning we rolled out. When we rolled out that next morning, the weather was marginal, but we took this as a sign that it was time to leave, and the sooner the better, because the weather usually rolled in shortly afternoon. It got cold and wet, and I didn't want to ride for 3 or more hours cold and wet, even though once we got down the hill everything warmed up. And it was a great ride into town, except for the fact that I broke my clutch cable once again. Yeah, it's not a really good long-term repair, and I just haven't had the shop yet that I felt confident to make me another cable. It's going to cost me as much as a brand new cable to make one, so I figure I will find somebody that knows what the heck they're doing with a soldering iron and can put it in without me spending $50 and it breaking anyway down the road. But yeah, nice ride down the canyon, a nice warm canyon, and I bugged out early, so wound up coasting into this little nice shady spot so I could get some tools and see if I could repair the cable before the boys got there.
Well, this is cable break number, I don't know, 4 or 5, I'm not really sure, I lost count. But this is the cable that came in the repair kit. I also have a piece of cable that I bought from Highland Cycles, so in case this one gives out. But I'm running low on ferrules, the little adapters that you put on the end. These guys, because I've only got the one that fits in here, and luckily it stayed in, because it could pop right out, because there's nothing holding it in there. There's no cable in there anymore. But I think I got plenty of cable. I got even if this one is not going to hold on long enough, this one's probably a little bit thicker, probably a little bit better. But yeah, I need Gary's tools. He's got a small screwdriver that'll fit in here and take this thing off and clip the broken ends off. So he's got 2 tools that I need. So I think he's about 20 minutes behind me waiting on Carl. So yeah, Carl and I had it out this morning about him, you know, we said 10 o'clock rolling out. 10:30, he's still packing his bags, and then he takes 30 minutes. So I told him, you look like you got an hour, and he blew up. And I was just gonna say, hey man, meet us in town. I gotta go to the hardware store or the auto parts store, see if they got cables and ferrules. Didn't make it, but this is a good stopping spot. I've got shade here at least for a few more minutes, maybe till the boys catch up. Maybe I can be on the road shortly after the boys get here. All right, so I just walked 100 yards and back to get the tools that I'm missing from Gary. Says it may be an hour. If Gary's waiting on Carl after Carl threw his temper tantrum this morning, then it may be a fucking hour before Carl gets there, which means Gary's an hour and a half from here. So I got tools. I think I got everything I need. We'll see. Just gonna clean this cable up. I can get this guy off of here. They need a knife. Nah, don't need a knife. Yeah, I'm just gonna clean this nasty stuff off and try to push that the new fresh cords back up into the ferrule. Yeah, this works better than Gary's pliers anyway, so got that going for me. Now open these guys.
So after stopping at the truck stop and gathering my new tools, I had plenty of time to fix my broken cable once again and go inside and eat lunch while I waited on the boys. And they got there about the time I was finishing up. So make sure you join us next time as we roll up to Dinosaur and plenty of drama. That's next time. See you then.